All right, so let me ask you really quickly about libertarians, because as you know, they're obviously for limited small government, but many argue this is the exact time where people need government more so than ever.
Well, from a health perspective, you have to give more flexibility to people who are on the ground. This idea that you're going to control everything in Washington and have a few people get in a room and decide how the whole country operates is patently absurd.
Well, I'll agree with you there.
As for financial relief, I've said repeatedly that what people should have is direct pay from the government during this time.
You're advocating for a UBI? This is not a libertarian position.
What they're doing, the Republicans and Democrats, is funneling money to the banks or directly to big corporations using the Federal Reserve.
Right, this is what they always do. This is basically to say, hey, we'll give you some crumbs to keep you happy so you won't complain, but we're gonna give the real money to our friends who run these massive corporations, and we're gonna borrow it from a bank, and you're gonna be the ones to pay for it. This is a distraction. It is not a solution.
There are millions of people who are struggling right now. They can't get unemployment very easily. They've lost their jobs. And the government is telling them, oh, we'll just give you one $1,200 check, instead of having a system where they can get a monthly distribution from the government to make it through this crisis.
So instead of making this a one-time thing, you want to make this an ongoing thing. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to say, we'll give money to the people, but we're also going to give a lot of money to the corporations. There are a million reasons why this is a bad plan. We need to stop focusing on giving money back to people who have been robbed and just stop robbing them. We need to focus on the reason why they need so much money to survive. We're giving them money so they can spend money. Most of their money is being spent on rent. Why don't we focus on making sure that they can own their own homes so they don't have to waste their money on rent? Right now, 87% of Americans are in debt. A lot of the money that they earn is going to pay those debts. It's going to pay interest. Why don't we work on getting people out of debt? This is a government program that has backed banks to make sure that every American is in debt so those banks can make a profit. We need to stop bailing out banks, let their debt collapse, and let Americans be free again. If the only way you can find a solution to a problem is by stealing from somebody else, that solution is no good. We have to focus on eliminating the problems at their source. And the source is that people do not own property, that people are in debt, and that the government is taxing everybody into poverty. Why aren't we focusing on this problem? Why aren't we getting Americans out of debt? And why aren't we getting Americans back to owning their own property? This is the new American dream.